Hi Facebook community, Show here, and today's update is on the peanut sensor. And today we're joined here by scientist Lindsay.
Happy to be here.
We're going to be talking a bit, basically everything about the peanut sensor. This is the new packaging. We have the peanut sensor. They're running some Oreos and Kit Kats already. But yeah, this is, if you guys are just tuning in, we just wanted to cover the progress on the peanut sensor and what's coming next. And if you guys have any questions or feedback on the peanut sensor, or even the gluten sensor, or anything that we're up to, just make sure to add them into the comments, and we will answer them as we go through this Facebook Live. But yeah, this test is currently running. Oh, we got one result already.
The Oreo.
This is the Oreo right here,
Smile.
and the Kit Kat's still going. I guess maybe we can start the test on the Chips Ahoy. But as you're running this lab test, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, scientist Lindsay?
So I've been at NEMA almost 2 years, and for the last year and a half, mainly been working on the peanut project. So everything that goes into developing the chemistry behind it. So the strip components, the extraction buffers, the capsule mainly. So we've been, just running tons of tests, tons of experiments, just trying to develop the product and getting it perfect for our customers.
Mm-hmm. And for those of you guys who may not be aware, maybe you guys know about the gluten sensor, but we've been working on this peanut sensor. We did a pre-order campaign about maybe January till March. That ended, but you can still reserve a peanut sensor right now on our website. And by reserving, basically you're guaranteeing yourself first place in line. We will be announcing the ship date coming very soon. We're just kind of doing the final sort of rounds of testing, which, Lindsay's team they're basically, you guys are pretty much done, and now it's kind of the analysis.
Yeah, so for the last month or so, we've been doing tons and tons of testing just on all different food types, sauces, meats, cookies, baked goods, chocolates, liquids, just anything and everything we think someone might want to test just to make sure, everything's working appropriately and detecting what it should be detecting.
Can you tell us maybe a little bit about what food items you chose and why?
Yeah, so we based on market research and stuff, we kind of come up with lists of foods who have peanut allergies want to test. Also foods that we know, for gluten, some of the foods are overlapping. So you want to make sure you can detect peanut out of different food matrices. So, a meat, a bread, a liquid, a pasta, a baked good, hard candies, spices, flours, sauces, just any type of, food category someone might want to put in the NEMA. So we have to, do a bunch of verification and testing to make sure that we can detect it appropriately. So we make a lot of food in the lab.
Definitely we can smell it from our side of the office.
Yeah, some things smell better than others.
When testing, let's say, I don't know, cake mixes or brownies, how do you guys test that? Do you guys test the powder? Do you guys bake it? How do you guys test that?
We mainly bake them because that's we do some testing on mixes, but mainly baked goods because, if someone were to go to a store and they want to, they buy a brownie, they buy a muffin, they want to know if they can eat that, from the coffee shop or from the bakery. So we test a lot of final, baked goods that we bake and pea sizes amounts with specific amounts of peanuts. So we know
do you
exactly
bake a whole cupcake or brownie? Or
we've done both.
Okay.
Some are whole, some are tiny little pea-sized
brownies.
individual brownies. So we took a lot of tiny foods. It's cute.
Any other tiny version? Have you guys done tiny pizza or tiny spaghetti?
We haven't done tiny pizza. No, we've done tiny pastas, tiny breads, tiny muffins, tiny brownies, tiny meatballs.
Tiny meatballs? Pea-sized meatballs.
Yeah.
What have been some of the challenges, when basically coming up with the tests or, even working on a sensor to detect peanut?
Oh, sorry, hold on. The Kit Kat was a smile.
The Kit Kat, all right. And that one, I believe, the packaging says, allergy information. Manufacturing a facility that also processes peanuts. So it's, very important that you test every batch. Maybe every every factory or lot might be a little different. So that's why we always say, let NEMA take the first bite. But in regards to at least this package of Kit Kat, and what did you put inside?
I put, you can kind of see I just took off this corner of the Kit Kat and then crumbled some because it was kind of too large of a chunk, a little bit more than a pea size, so I took a little bit of that, but right from that corner is what went into this capsule.
Okay. And we're still waiting on our Chips Ahoy.
I started the Chips Ahoy, so that one's still going.
Cool.
But yeah, it's just been challenges, different food types, different liquids, just making, certain food types pose more of a problem for peanut than they did for the gluten development necessarily.
Yeah.
So just kind of overcoming that and figuring out, okay, for peanut, we need, what the different challenge foods are for us.
Yeah, I mean, especially, some of you guys who have been receiving the peanut update are aware about sort of, the 10 ppm level that we're trying to go for basically the peanut sensor versus for gluten, it's 20 parts per million because that's like pretty much the FDA standard of, at least in the US, of what's gluten-free or not. Right. But so with peanut, getting it down, not 20, but even at a smaller number, much more sensitive at 10 parts per million, like what were the challenges, whether in the testing or even just the development of the chemistry?
The development, as you said, it has to be more sensitive. So we switched out, we started kind of looking at just switching into our gluten strips and thinking maybe, it'll just kind of work in that same technology. But, it just wasn't sensitive enough for the peanuts. So we had to develop whole new technologies and then again, make sure in even the hard food types you can get 10 ppm detection out of there. So as you said, just the challenges of making it more sensitive.
And how have you guys just been verifying basically that, the sort of the results we're getting with NEMA is going to be accurate and, it's up to the expectations that we have or the customers have?
Yeah, so we, as you mentioned, the last so many months have just been doing rounds and rounds of testing. Each kind of iteration we do to make the chemistry that much better. We go through a whole panel of foods. So recently we did about 6,000 NEMA tests recently. Of all different food types across, making sure the zero clean samples are clean and the spiked samples are detected. And then, if we have problem foods or things we're unsure of, we do send them out and we do third party we send out problem foods to get validated too, to see like, okay, are we picking up? Are they picking it up?
And you mentioned spiking foods. How do you spike let's say a cookie or something for peanut? Like how much do you put a peanut on there? Is it peanut butter?
So we have a peanut standard that we developed, so we know we're spiking to exactly 10 ppm.
Okay.
So as you mentioned, we make a lot of really tiny food pieces, so we know that in that food piece that's going in the NEMA, there should be 10 ppm in here, so that we know exactly what's there, what's being detected.
So I can tell that there's a lot of science that goes definitely involved in the development of this. So hopefully as we sort of confirm on the third party validation and even what you guys are testing, we want to make sure that we get everything up to our standards so that it's going to meet the standards of our community base who basically pre-ordered or have reserved the peanut sensor. Do we have any questions right now? No?
And the Chips Ahoy was a smile too. Yay!
All right. So, and by the way, these 3 items and more were basically requested by you guys when we sent out a quick sort of a survey on what peanut items that you guys want us to test. And we definitely got a lot of these cookies and candy bars, ice creams, and we did a whole comprehensive, we chose about maybe the top 10 items and we did a report on that. And that's actually going to be coming out this afternoon on nemasensor.com/blog. So we're going to say the results of basically the Chips Ahoy, Oreo, Kit Kats, some ice creams, and some other candy bars. So definitely encourage you, if you guys have been curious about how the NEMA sensor works or the results that we're getting, check out that blog post. Also, we're really about taking sort of the feedback from the community. So today in the emails that I sent out, you guys should have received a link to a quick survey. It's going to, maybe take about 5 minutes or so, but we're just kind of trying to make sure we get a sense of, your sort of background into, what brings you into sort of our NEMA peanut community, what brought you into getting a NEMA sensor. We just want to make sure we have sort of all the information in place so that when we're going to launch, which is very, very, very soon, we can make the experience very, really good for you. So if you have, maybe the next day or two, if you have any time, please take a look at that email that went out today and answer the survey in there. It's going to be really helpful for our entire team to sort of, not just like on the marketing side for me, but even on the research side to make sure we have all the different foods and everything, covered. Great. Yeah. And if you guys still have not reserved or pre-ordered, you guys definitely see that, the peanut sensor, this is, it's, yeah, it's definitely, it's similar to the gluten sensor, which this Nima plush is, this is our gluten guy right here with a little bit of blue. The peanut sensor has the orange rim. Also, the capsules
for the peanut on them.
The peanut has a peanut on the top, and this is for those people who might have both the gluten and might be ordering the peanut sensor, for you to be able to tell the difference in the capsules. Because right now you do have to use two different sensors: the peanut sensor and the gluten sensor. It's two separate, separate sort of. The internal components are very similar, but like the algorithm, the software inside is a little different to basically understand, to know if it's detecting peanut or gluten. But in the future, we do want to make one device that can test multiple capsules. Longer term, it'll be cool when we can have one device and one capsule, and the capsule could have, let's say, gluten, peanut, dairy, tree nut, whatever you're trying to avoid in one capsule. But definitely this is the first step. As you guys can see, this is the new packaging. We made it a little bit smaller, and some of you guys who may have ordered the gluten sensor have noticed the packages got a little bit smaller. Same with the capsule packages, it definitely got smaller. So yeah, this is the peanut sensor right here. And so far, the Chips Ahoy, Oreos, and Kit Kat, and the Kit Kat was made in possibly a shared facility, but it did come out basically peanut free. So, so Sarah, so it was a result of the Kit Kat, and yes, the Kit Kat was peanut free.
Yep.
So yeah, if you guys have not, you can at least reserve the peanut sensor. It's free to reserve. Basically, we'll be notifying you as soon as that launch date comes out. Hey, you're ready to order. This is the peanut sensor. But yeah, it's basically first come, first serve for the pre-order and then the reserve now. So if you haven't done so, highly encourage you to reserve your peanut sensor. If you know any family, friends, or anyone at maybe the kids' school or anything that might be interested in the peanut sensor, please let them know. nimasensor.com/peanut. Basically, we're kind of spreading heavily through word of mouth. So appreciate everything that you guys are doing, especially the people who pre-ordered or reserved now. We know that a lot of you guys are already spreading the word while eagerly waiting to get the peanut sensor. Yeah. But I can tell you that Lindsay and her team, they've been working really hard. These are working capsules, and we're going to have the launch date announcing very soon, so please stay tuned. We'll have another Facebook Live coming up very soon. Hopefully that's when we'll be able to announce some of the launch date. Also next month, the month of May is Celiac Awareness Month. Also in the month of May, there's Food Allergy Awareness Week from May 13th, I believe, 13th to the 19th. So we're going to be highlighting a lot of food allergy stories or stories from our community members who have celiac disease, and how Nima's has been how Nima have basically helped out their lives. So we're going to be talking about that. So definitely tune in to blog posts, social media, Facebook Live. In May, we're going to be covering a lot for both celiac and food allergy awareness. And if we don't have any questions, we're going to wrap this up. And anyone who's watching this after our live, definitely write in the comments for questions, or you can always email us, support@nimasensor.com, and we're happy to answer any of your questions. All right.
Thanks.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Bye.